So I'd like to make a video about law school and about whether law school is good preparation for actually becoming a lawyer. So before I discuss that, I need to first explain how law school is taught. I think when most people think of graduate school, they think of going to class, listening to lectures, taking notes, reading textbooks to supplement the lectures, having quizzes and writing assignments and final exams and things like that. There's almost none of that in law school. Law school is totally different. When you go to law school, instead of a textbook, you'll be assigned a case book. So the case book is simply a book full of legal decisions. Uh, and these decisions are often poorly written. They're long-winded, they're rambling, and you will be assigned to read more cases than you can possibly handle or adequately handle. You'll go to class. The professor will not lecture at class. Law school uses what's called the Socratic method. So the professor will simply call on one or two students, and those students will be asked to discuss the reading. Okay, what were the facts, and what was the rule, and what was the rationale for the court's decision, and so forth. So like I said, most students cannot read all of this material adequately, and they usually don't have a real depth of the material that they're reading. Okay, they can't have time to read the cases and then read supplemental material as well. So the student doesn't really have a grasp on what he or she is talking about, and often they end up just rambling and babbling for 45 minutes to an hour while the professor just grills them with questions. Well, what about this, and what about that point, and so forth. And everybody is supposed to be learning by this. Uh, Now, instead of incrementally measuring your understanding of the material through quizzes and writing assignments and things like that, there's none of that. There's just one exam at the end of every semester. So it's usually a 3-hour exam per class. And your entire grade will be based on that exam. And the exam will be in all essay form. All right? So it's a totally different way of learning and teaching. And in my opinion, it's not effective at all. In fact, it's the total opposite of what I do as an attorney. So when a client comes to me and they have a legal problem, I try to solve that problem as quickly and efficiently as possible. Okay, I go to the library, take out the pertinent material, I get the rules in the most boiled down form possible, and then if I need some more depth or understanding of the rules or the procedural rules that I'm working with, I'll go to cases and I'll read a few cases. Right? I do not take the law school approach and say, well, let me read 200 or 300 pages worth of cases and material and try to glean some sort of rules from all of it, and then from there try to help you with your problem. You don't do that, okay? So in that sense, it's not at all, law school is not at all like the actual practice of law. And you know, the only similarity I see between the two is that both law school and the practice of law can at times be very, very arbitrary. So if you're going to law school, or if you're in law school, or if you've been through law school, you're going to experience a class where you enjoy the class, you go to every class, you do all of the reading, you grasp the material, you talk during class, then you take the final exam and you get back a poor grade. And then conversely, you'll have a class where you skim the reading material, you don't pay attention during class, you skip half the classes, and you take the exam and it's one of your best grades for the semester. I think every lawyer, every law student can relate to that. And the law can be very much the same. Okay, you can go into the courtroom um, or city council meeting, whatever it may be. The facts, the law, everything is on your side, and you know it. And then for just some meaningless, arbitrary reason, the court, the judge, the jury, whatever it may be, will just side against you or shoot you down, right? So law school sort of gets you ready for that. And one other positive thing I could say about law school is that uh, it's a struggle, and it's not for the faint of heart. And you just gotta, you know, grin and bear it, plow through the reading, put up with the arbitrary grading, uh, deal with the bar exam, and it really demonstrates that those who get through all of that have at least some level of competence and a certain work ethic and drive, right? Which is in many ways missing from some of the other fields that I work with. Right, so I work a lot with lawyers. Like I said, there's this minimal level of competence, and intelligence, and work ethic. And then I'll work with banks and financial institutions, and the bar to entry is not so high, and you can tell. So, despite all of this, and despite all of the negative things that are said about law school, if you want to be a lawyer, you have to go through it. So, just do it, grin and bear it, go through the 3 years, put up with the bar exam, because the practice of law is much different from any of that. And even though I hated law school and the bar exam, I really enjoy practicing law, and I think it's worth it to go through law school and put yourself through that if this is where you want to be.